You are now tuned in to a Mud Talk exclusive.
What's up, everybody? It's Big T.
Hi, Miss Amy.
And you are officially tapped in and tuned in to a Mud Talk exclusive. As you know, we like to bring you guys exclusive interviews here at Mud Talk. And of course, we got to do it big, right?
We have a legend.
We have a legend that's in the building. So we are super excited to get to know more about Mr. Charles Wright.
Yes. So let me give you a little background here. Charles Wright is a prominent songwriter and recording artist who gained popularity in the late 1960s as the leader of the popular funk and soul band Charles Wright and the Watts 103rd Street Rhythm Band. Born in Clarksdale, Mississippi in 1940, Wright's Southern roots and his passion for music shaped his unique blend of soul, funk, and blues. He relocated to Los Angeles with his family as a teenager, where he continued to pursue music and was exposed to the thriving West Coast R&B scene. Mr. Wright has been in the music industry over 5 decades and wrote and produced hit song Express Yourself that was sampled by NWA in the 90s and has been used in many movies, ads, and commercials. Some of his recent accomplishments include winning the Oldies But Goodies Award at the 2023 HAPA Awards and was recently inducted into the National R&B Hall of Fame class of 2024. In 2023, he released 2 music singles, Your Hand and Doing It on the Flow. Mr. Wright is also an author of the book Up From Where We've Come, and in 2024 is releasing a new book called Express Yourself. So we just want to extend a warm Mud Talk welcome to Mr. Charles Wright.
Hey, how you doing, Mr. Charles Wright?
I'm all right after all of that. Thank you.
That is a lot of accomplishments, man. Yes, absolutely. As we heard in the intro, Mr. Charles Wright, we heard that you moved from Clarksdale, Mississippi to LA as a teenager. What was that like transitioning from Clarksdale over to Los Angeles?
It was like going to a different planet. I came out of the cotton field into the big city.
Wow.
Yeah. And just walking through Union Station once I arrived here was a blast for me. Yeah.
Wow. I can't
even imagine.
Yeah. That's like a major culture shock.
That is like a whole other planet.
Yeah. So we know that, growing up, you were really into music, a lot of soul and jazz. Who were some of your influences when you were growing up?
Frankly, I was isolated from music for most of my childhood. My father's sharecropping boss somehow convinced my father that the blues was the devil's music. And my father went for it. So he wouldn't allow me to listen to anything like that, any secular music. I could listen to strangers that sing country and western.
I believe it. From was it you said Mississippi?
Yeah.
And gospel music and religious music, but no secular music. And after I came to LA, excuse me, I grew up to be about 14 and I'm on my way home from school and the kids are all singing these songs they heard on the radio. And so I asked them where they heard the songs and they told me. So I started listening, sneaking and listening to the radio. And I got hooked on the stuff. I mean, I really got hooked on it because I had never heard it before. And then I heard a guy named Jesse Belvin. Do you know who that is?
Yes.
I do not.
Yes. Yes.
I heard Jesse Belvin sing one day on the radio. And so I was so enthralled with his voice that I went into the phone book and looked him up. He was one of the only Belvins in LA at the time. And I called him 2 or 3 times till I got him. And I said, Mr. Belvin, I want to sing and I want to sound just like you. He gave me a great piece of advice. He says, "Get your own sound, boy. Leave mine the F alone."
That's funny. That's funny. He was probably like, "Who is this guy, this kid calling me up at my house,
I know, trying to steal my
trying to steal my style?"
So I told him, I said, I thought that'd be a compliment.
Mm.
He said, "You ever hear Johnny Ace?" I said, "Yeah, I heard him. I like the way he sounds too, but you got this style that I like." So if you don't get it by now, boy, I'm hanging up. "Oh, please," I said, "don't hang up. I don't know what y'all doing. I just want to be a part of it. So please, could you give me some pointers?" He was nice enough to let me come to a rehearsal he was having with a group called the Turks. The Turks had hit records on the radio too. So he allowed me to come that weekend and see them rehearse, and I went over there. And man, when I left there, you couldn't crowbar me away from this thing. I just wanted to be a part of it so bad. So I went and I started me a group. First, I went to this school. They had all these groups on the campus. And some of them had hit records on the air. So the first day I went, I went and bought me some lunch, and I sat at the outside table, and I heard something coming from behind one of the bungalows. It was one of the most beautiful things I ever heard. So I wrapped my food up, and I went in search of what I was hearing. It stopped every once in a while, so I had to stop in my tracks. Then to start again, I followed until I got around behind that bungalow. There was 4 guys with their lips protruded into each other's faces, singing 4-part harmony.
Mm.
Wow.
I had never heard anything so beautiful at that point. So you find me behind that bungalow every day at lunchtime when they had their rehearsals, waiting for that harmony to begin. And so then I decided to start me a group. Didn't know what I was doing. But I started a group. Jesse Belvin told me about a man who lived not too far away who had a studio and a record company in the neighborhood. So I went by there and asked the man to grant us an audition. He said, "Don't bring them in here until you think they're ready." I said, "Okay." So I brought them in there when I thought they were ready. He said, "No, you're not ready yet." I said, "Well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to record you so you'll know what you sound like."
Mm.
So I had my cousin was singing like a songbird automatically. So he got up there and he sang the first couple of songs. Then I stepped up to sing. The man said, "Oh, no, please. Don't you ever try to sing lead. Stay in the background for the rest of your entire life." I said, "You sound horrible." So after that, I started going in this tunnel. It was close to my house, actually, where kids go under the street to get to the other side to go to school. And I go in there every night because I could hear my voice as an echo. And I practiced. Then I went to this place one night by myself. And I sat down at his piano hoping he'd allow me to finish the first verse. I had written a couple of songs. So I sang this song. And he let me finish, and I turned around, and he said, "You're not the same guy. I can't believe it." He said, "You're not the guy I told him to stay in the background forever." I said, "If you don't like it, I'll keep on trying until I get it." He said, "You got it, buddy." He said, "From now on, when I go back to the studio, I'm taking you with me, and with that song there, and you're going to be my #1 superstar from now on."
Wow.
Wow.
What a determination that you had to do that. From somebody who never even listened to secular music all the way to, "You're going to listen to me and I'm going to make it right."
Yeah. Well, he took me into the studio, and it was someone else's session, but the last 15 minutes he gave me to sing 2 songs. And that's where I made my first hit record.
Wow.
Wow.
That's so cool.
That is such a cool story.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's super cool. Now, so you eventually, like you said, you formed your own band, the Wright Sound. And in 1967, you guys merged with the Watts 103rd Street Rhythm Band. And then you guys later on got signed to Warner Brother Records. What was that feeling like finally getting that big record deal?
It was an incremental thing, you know. My band was called Charles Wright and the Wright Sounds, and we played in nightclubs around here, and we ended up playing in a club on Hollywood and Vine, in the middle of Hollywood, for a couple of years. And while we was doing that, I was also had developed into a studio musician as a guitarist, and I had a different sound on my guitar because I'm left-handed. And I turned my guitar bottom side up to play it because I didn't have a left-handed guitar in those days.
Okay.
So I, while I was in the studio one day with a band I record with all the time, one of the bands I record with all the time, in walks Bill Cosby, who at that time was the biggest Hollywood movie star in the world. He was looking for a band to back him up on his first singing single, which was called Little Old Man. Did you ever hear that?
I don't think so.
I don't know. He played the trumpet though, right? Or was it the saxophone?
No, he was mostly rapping.
Oh.
Did you say Bill Cosby was rapping?
Yeah, it became a hit record. Was in the top 20.
Wow.
Well, I'm definitely looking that up as soon as we're done with this.
Look it up, Bill Cosby, Little Old Man. Then after that hit, he wanted to do an album called oh shit, come on, Charles. Anyway, I made 2 albums with him, and he was trying to sing basically, and so then he adopted my band as his backup band.
Okay.
So we became his backup band, and he had Warner Brothers sign us up to Warner Brothers on our own. So that's how we got signed to Warner Brothers.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Bill Cosby was a rapper.
I never knew, but I'm looking it up.
Yes.
I'm gonna find out as soon as we're done.
He was trying to sing there for a while.
Oh man.
So was he a better rapper or singer?
Neither one.
Well,
You're like, I was the singer. That's it.
It's a good thing he stuck to acting.
Yes.
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 He was all right, you know.
He was just an all right actor too.
Yeah, he was all right. He liked singing the blues.
Yeah.
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 I can imagine.
Yes. So
one of the albums' name is God dog it. I'm trying to give you the name so you can look the albums up.
I'm gonna Google it.
yes.
I know Google will be our friend.
Salvation Army Band. The Salvation Army Band.
Salvation Army Band. Okay, I'm putting it in my phone right now.
Yes, we gotta look that up.
I'm gonna look it up right after the show's over.
There was one before that. Silk Throat, I think it was.
Okay. All right, I'm putting it in my phone.
Yeah.
What else you got for us, Big T?
Oh, I thought you were talking about Bill Cosby. I was like, I don't know anything.
Not about Bill Cosby. I'm talking about Mr. Wright here.
Thank you. So you guys later on, you end up having a hit song called "Express Yourself," which became a huge hit. What was the meaning behind the song "Express Yourself"?
Everybody wants to know about Express Yourself, but we had more hits than the Expressions, not as big as Express or extensive as Express Yourself, because Express Yourself has become a phenomenal thing for promoting people's product.
Right.
But we had Do Your Thing, which was huge.
Okay.
Then we had Love Land, which was huge. And we had Spreading Honey and a few other hit records. But Express Yourself, it came about, we were performing one night at A&M, Texas A&M College.
Mm-hmm.
And we was closing the show with Do Your Thing. And it stops all abruptly when it ends. And the kids kept clapping and stomping. And I don't know, only God made me say, I said, Express Yourself. And they went, wow. So I said it a few other times and they reacted to it. So I knew it had potential. Mm. So that night I took my pencil and pad, my guitar to my hotel room, and I started working on it. Mm-hmm. And by the middle of the next day, I had completely finished it when I got home off of playing in LA. Then I taught the musicians their parts. And then I took the band in the studio, but it just didn't work out. So that weekend, I thought something told me, just call the bass player and the drummer and go in the studio and do it with those two people and yourself. So I called them and the recording engineer went in the studio and I kicked off Express Yourself. And within an hour's time, it was done. And I knew that was it.
Wow. So
I took it back and played it for the rest of my band and wanted the horn players to put their parts on there. And they didn't want to play on it. They said it was a piece of shit.
Wow.
And now years later, you're like, let me show you.
Well, I threatened them. I said, no, I'm going to get some of my old studio players. They'll be glad to play on it. So they mumbled and grumbled. And then they played it. And then I took it to the record company. And the president said, it's a piece of shit. I said, just put it out there, man. It's a hit, I guarantee you. Well, we were working in a nightclub in Detroit when the first two copies came off the press. I have them sent to me. I gave the disc jockey who owned the club a copy. He went to his office and he played and he came out and said, I think you made a mistake this time, Charles. I said, but I'm going to play it anyway because you guys are doing such a great job at my club here. And that's the kind of reaction I got from everybody almost about Express Yourself. Wow. Nobody liked Express Yourself except for me. I ran into that disc jockey 10 years later at a convention, record convention, in a suite where they was having a party. And he said, I told you it was going to be a smash, didn't I?
You're like, no.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And that's just that's such a good lesson to learn is, to always bet on yourself. Even when nobody else is betting on you, always bet on yourself.
Yeah, you can't just listen to everybody when you're doing something creative.
Yeah.
Right.
Because people don't understand nothing that they haven't heard before.
Yep, absolutely.
I mean, I was just telling Big T before you logged in that I was on TV and I saw a commercial for a hotel chain. And your song was playing right after he said, hey, we're going to interview him on Thursday. And I was like, yeah, okay. And then all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute, that's the song. And so it's even today, 2024, it's out there and it's all over. And all those people, all those haters.
All of those haters. Yes.
They were wrong.
Yeah. So how does it feel to hear and see your songs being sampled, from other artists and as well as commercials and whatnot?
Well, I frankly don't think anybody has done it as well as we originally did.
Right.
But I'm glad you accept the money.
I don't blame you. So when people like sampled it, so I saw it in your bio, it said in the 90s NWA had sampled it. Do you work with those artists or you just collect the paycheck while they use your sound?
Oh no, I don't work with them. If some of them does something, says something that I disagree with, I don't allow them to use it.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
If they do some too many cuss words
Yeah.
or the N word, stuff like that, I don't agree with that. My music, I didn't make my music for that.
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm proud of my music.
As you should be.
As you should be.
Yes.
Yes, for sure.
So speaking of music, you recently had some new singles come out, and one of them is called Your Hands. Can you tell us more about your new single, Your Hands?
know you hear me out here knocking. Why don't you come and do this lock? Lord have mercy. Yeah. Let me play this guitar.
Have you heard Your Hand?
Yes, we listened to it. We got the email yesterday and we were able to listen
I
to
really
it.
like it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
I just, so this is the first, so you released this single and you released another single. What was it? The Doing It for the Flow?
Doing it on the flow.
Doing It on
Doing
the
It on
Flow.
the Flow.
And I actually watched that video. You were having so much fun in that video.
Everybody doing it. They doing it on the floor. All night long, child. Everybody doing it. They're doing it on the floor.
I was like, I want to be on that video with you. You look like you were having a blast.
But next time I'll give you a call.
Yes, I want to be in a music video.
Yes.
Nobody's let me do it yet.
We've had a lot of music artists on the show, and Miss Amy's goal is to be in a music video.
Yes.
With the money phone.
Well, I don't even need a money phone. You were having a good old time. People dancing around. He was doing it on the flow.
Yeah,
I mean, it was a fun song.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That makes it worthwhile.
Yes, you're
Absolutely.
welcome.
Yes.
I enjoyed it.
And so not only did you drop 2 new singles, but you were recently inducted into the National R&B Hall of Fame. How does that feel?
I feel like I might deserve it.
Oh yeah.
I think so.
Yeah,
I would agree.
And I appreciate it too. I really do appreciate it. I didn't know it until a few weeks ago that I had been inducted.
Mm.
I'll never be inducted in the other Hall of Fame.
Right.
So that one, I appreciate that one. That's the one I appreciate.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I
That's
mean,
really neat,
and
yeah.
you contributed so much to the R&B sound that we hear today,
Yes.
and to continue to hear your sound that you created to continue hearing it today, you absolutely deserve it. And they deserve to give you your flowers.
Yes.
That's
they did.
That's really dope.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And then, you had a book to go along with Express Yourself that's also called Express Yourself. Can you tell us a little bit about the book?
That book is not out yet.
Okay.
So it's that 2024. When do we know when it's about to be out?
It should be out within the next month and a half.
Okay.
Oh, so if you're listening and watching, make sure you cop that book called Express Yourself.
And you had a busy last couple of years. 2 singles and a book.
Now, I have a book out already,
Mm-hmm.
up from where we've come,
Uh-huh.
which I had to rename once Trump became president.
Mm.
It has a new name now.
Okay.
So is Up From Where We Came the old name or the new name?
The new name is Still on the Road to Freedom.
On the Road to Freedom. Okay.
Freedom. Okay.
Yeah. People entered, all the people who reviewed it, I read the reviews, they love it.
Can you tell us a little bit about that inspiration for that book?
That book was written about my life and my family's life in the cotton fields of Mississippi.
Okay.
This is a story I think people ought to know.
Yeah.
Lots of people don't understand what really happens as a second step from slavery, which is sharecropping.
Mhm.
And my family were sharecroppers. And I thought people ought to know what we went through.
Yeah.
And that's what my book is about.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
So the book right now, people want to go out and read that one. It's now called Still on the Road to Freedom.
Yes, or you can ask for up from where we've come. It's on Amazon.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. So make
Well,
sure you
I
guys
know I'm
go and
going to
get
be
it.
putting that on my reading list.
Yes.
So I'm definitely going to have to check that out. And then the book that's coming out in 2024, Express Yourself. What was the inspiration for that book?
Express Yourself was about my life in show business.
Okay.
Which is what everybody wanted to hear in the first place. But I had to, I had to tell my story from my childhood story, from actually, believe it or not, I somehow remember something that happened 3 months before I was born.
Oh, okay.
And that's where my first book starts. 3 months before I was born.
Oh,
Wow.
I can't wait to read it.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
And it sounds like no matter which part of your life you're talking about, it's always been overcoming adversity.
Yes.
And that seems like a common theme.
Yeah. And in the end, God's in my corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm very blessed. Thanks to Express Yourself. That one song will not quit. And I'm so thankful for that.
Yes. And we're thankful for you for even,
Absolutely.
just being creative and making the music and being the legend that you are. So we truly, truly appreciate you.
Thank you so much for that. I've got over 300 other songs out there. And I think Express Yourself I think a lot of them are just as good as Express Yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That people have never heard because they were not promoted properly.
Okay.
But I have them and they're out there. Especially the music I did on ABC Dunhill Records.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite of all the 300 songs? What's your absolute favorite song?
From all three of them? All 300,
All 300 of them? Yeah.
It's a hard question, baby.
I know. Hey, we asked the hard questions
Yes.
here.
I should have actually say Express Yourself because it's been so good to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I have other songs that I love. They're like my children. Yeah.
Right. So give me one. I want to know which one so I can listen to it.
Doing What Comes Naturally.
Okay. It's called Do It When It Comes Naturally.
Doing What Comes Naturally.
Doing What Comes Naturally. I'm putting it in my phone so I can remember. I got a lot of things to do tonight.
You got a lot of homework.
I do.
Try this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay. So when you write music, what's your inspiration behind the music that you write?
Whatever the day calls for. I have one song that I think got me in trouble.
Oh. But
it's been recorded by other people like Les McCann, Amanda Ambrose, a group called Wilco, Ray Charles, a few other people.
Right.
But it's a song that I did one day on a television show. And next week, everybody tried to do it. It's about all men being truly brothers and why can't we love one another? Love and peace from ocean to ocean. Somebody please second my motion. If all men were born to be free, then what about you? What about me? In a world full of hate, there's nothing left. You enslave me, you'll never rescue yourself.
Wow.
Those last words is why you haven't heard the song.
Wow.
That's powerful.
That's very powerful.
A song called Comment. Comment.
Just gonna add it right here to my list. Oh,
That's very deep.
yes.
Yes, I love that. So, being that you are an R&B legend, and with the current state of R&B music now, how do you feel about the current music that's out right now, as far as R&B?
I don't call that R&B.
Mm.
Matter of fact, I don't like none of these categories. But they're making music with machines, man.
Yeah.
I spent hours and days in the studio trying to get the right spirit out of my band for my music. So it's about the spirit that we brought to this side of the world. Black people brought here. We got a spiritual thing that everybody wants, and everybody's trying to do, and they're making billions of dollars doing it, and they're leaving us behind because we're. I'm sorry about my phone.
You're good.
Because we are golfers. They gave us a mechanical instrument to keep the beat, which is nothing but a metronome.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we are now. We're on a metronome. We've lost the spirit in the music for the most part. Every once in a while, somebody come up with something that I can dig. But for the most part, they've robbed the music of its spirituality nowadays. And the world is going crazy because of it.
Yeah.
You think that's not a fact? That's a fact. Look at what's going on. The world's going off because the spirit is gone.
Yes. Yeah. And it seems like with the current R&B music, everything is just about making a dollar and not so much, just doing it because it's a passion or like, you have the spirit to do it. Everybody's just trying to make a quick buck, it seems like.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a point there.
Yeah.
We started out, we had Nat King Cole and people like that. Great people.
Yep.
Who could raise the spirit to the highest level. But now it's the spirit is dead to me. Yeah. I have a song that I'm just putting out called Follow Your Spirit, by the way.
Okay. So that's the 2024 single coming out?
Follow your spirit, listen to your heart.
I like that.
We need more uplifting music that has some spirit behind it for sure.
Yeah, I was definitely going to say that too, is that, back, in the older days, that everything was about spirit, making people feel good and uplifting, or just making you feel an emotion, whether you were, happy or sad or just wanting the world to come together. And like now everything is just pretty much the same. And
it was coming from the heart of the people that were making it.
Yes.
And now we have other people that are writing songs that people are just performing them, and it's not coming from the heart, the experiences. And
yeah.
You guys understand.
Yes, we do.
I love music, so it's a big part of my life, and I like to listen to it and relate to it. And I definitely respect the when people put their heart and soul and passion behind what they're writing and the music that they're making.
Yeah.
I hope we get back on track.
I hope so too, because like you said, with the state of the world right now, we need uplifting music. We need music with soul, with spirit, with heart, and not just so much trying to make a quick buck and become famous on the next social media platform.
Or just singing things that are bringing people down, or encouraging negative behaviors.
Yes, make bad choices.
Bad choices. Yeah. Basically.
For me, it's not about the money. I don't write just so I can make money. I don't do music just to make money. I want to do something to make the people feel good.
Yes.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you know what? Maybe that's, we talked about, I know Express Yourself isn't one of your favorites, but maybe that's why that one's still around and so popular, because it is such a happy, upbeat song that I'm like, when you were telling the story about being at Texas A&M, I'm just imagining these kids wanting the concert to keep going, and you're telling them to express themselves, and they're loving that. And it's just such a happy, uplifting, beat and song.
Yeah, well, I'm thankful for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we really create anything. I think God sent it through us if we got the awareness to capture it and
Mm-hmm.
put it on paper or on a record or something like that.
Yeah.
I think that's the way it's done. And God sent me Express Yourself that night because I had never even thought of saying that before.
Just came out of your mouth. You're like, wait a minute, this is it.
Yeah.
Well, we can definitely tell that your music doesn't just come from making a buck. Just your story alone of, coming from not really listening to music to LA to hearing people sing to wanting to sound like that to going into a tunnel and perfecting, your craft and just all the persistence you have. You can tell it's definitely your passion.
Yes.
Hey, thank you.
And I love the fact that you kept going despite what
Yes.
people were saying, this music that doesn't work or that's not going to be a hit. I love that.
You're just ahead of your time, I feel like, maybe.
I've heard that before, so I can't deny it.
Yeah, I feel like that could be part of it.
Yes.
So you've been in the music scene a long time. I need to know. Tell me one of the most fun or exciting or wild stories you got from being in the music industry.
Oh Lord.
I need something good, juicy.
I don't know. You have to read my book.
There it is.
Yeah, I think you should read Express Yourself when it comes
Oh, I will when it comes out. I'm going to read the first one first while I'm waiting for that one to come out.
All right.
Start at the beginning, and then I'll read that one. And so there's lots of good, juicy stories and fun stuff from being in the entertainment industry in that new book.
There's a lot of stories, lots of them.
Oh man.
All right.
Yeah.
So you worked with Bill Cosby. Was there any other celebrities that you worked with that you were excited about working with or that you enjoyed?
Well, while I was doing that, I worked with practically everybody. I mean, there's nobody I can think of that I really haven't worked with. You guys have to excuse my phone. This is my home.
You're all right. You're a popular guy.
That's my cell phone now. Yeah, I've worked with practically, as you will read in my book, everybody at one time or another. And I didn't mention everybody I worked with in my book, but one of the most exciting people I worked with was a guy named Chuck Jackson.
Okay.
Chuck was an inspiration for me because the way I met Chuck is I was on the road with a singing group in the late 50s, and two of the guys abandoned us. So it was only two of us left, and so I had to try to find some other people to take their place, and I'm back east. And so I ran into Speedo of the Cadillacs and Chuck Jackson before Chuck ever became famous.
Okay.
And they joined my group, and we toured together for a while. I came back home after that, and I went back to New York with another group as their guitar player, a group called Bobby Sox and the Blue Jeans. And I'm sitting on the stage one day, and they were all gone shopping or something, and I'm tuning my guitar, and somebody called me an MF. Hey, MF, what you doing here? Heavy voice. I said, when did you start messing around with the guitar? You quit singing? I said, I looked up, I didn't know who he was, because he had an alteration on his teeth that made him look 100% different. And he was so confident and he was dressed so sharp. I said, I'm sorry, I don't know who you are. Said, don't you remember we used to sing together, man? Me and you and Monroe. I said, no, I don't think so. I think you got me mixed up. Mixed up with who, Charles, right? I said, don't you remember me? I'm Charles Jackson. And then I used to sing with you. I said, oh, I looked at him and he kind of looked familiar all of a sudden. I said, oh, I'll be damned if it ain't you. He said, this is my show. I'm the headliner of this show at the Apollo. I said, you the Chuck Jackson? You damn straight. I told you I was going to make it someday, didn't you? If I didn't, I told everybody else. And when he performed, man, he was so dynamic. I was so taken aback by his performance and everything. And I had to step my game up after I saw him.
I love that.
Yeah.
He was quite an inspiration to me.
That's great.
Oh, that's cool.
I love that.
Yes. Now, for the younger people who are looking to get into the music industry, if you had to give them any advice, what advice would you give them?
If you please, try going to school and learning some musical theory and join a band or start a band. Because when people are playing together, it brings about a spiritual atmosphere.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, forget the machine. That machine has no feeling whatsoever. I tried it, I know.
That's great advice.
Yeah. I always notice, because I try to go to church, regularly. Whenever I hear a song that's in church, but then I hear it like on the radio or something, I'm like, it doesn't hit the same.
It doesn't hit the same.
Like when I'm in church, I can feel it. I can feel the spirit moving. I can feel it. But then when I listen to it on the radio, I'm like, nah, I need to hear that live.
Because you have the band, you have the singers, and they're all right there in front of you.
Yes, and they all
and Jesus. Not that Jesus isn't always with you.
He's always with me.
But at church, he's definitely there.
Yes, but just hearing everybody come together for one common sound and just everybody has the same spirit and the same mission. I'm like, that right there, like I need that. So I definitely agree.
I agree as well.
Yeah, we're great when we work together. People say we can't work together. Look at the choir. Look at the dancers. We can do so much together, and together brings about that spiritual thing that I'm talking about.
Yes.
The name of the game is together.
Yes.
And when you guys are together and you're connected, then it helps people connect to your music.
How's that, daughter?
I said when you guys are connected as a choir or a band, and then it brings the connection from your listeners to the music. They feel connected because you're connected.
Yes, but you can't, my theory is unless you feel it, you can't make somebody else feel it.
Absolutely. Yes.
Very true. Yes. Yes.
That's true.
Wow. That is, you're going to clip that one.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, Mr. Charles Wright, we thank you so much for taking the time out of your evening to, chat with us and to
bless us with your knowledge.
Bless us with your knowledge. And this is this is probably one of my favorite interviews we've ever done.
Agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that.
True story. It is. We already did.
No.
So what do you have coming up? What do you have coming up at the next? You said you have a single coming out. What else is next for you?
My book.
Okay. So we got the book in about a month, you said, month or two.
Give it 2 months, please.
We'll give it 2. All right. So Express Yourself, 2 months. And then you have your single. When's that coming out?
My next single?
Yes.
I'm not sure when that's coming out.
Okay.
I'm tempted to put it out right now.
Oh, shoot.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think it's needed. But the problem is I've come to the conclusion lately that music is not, we sell music, but we don't get anything out of it. Somebody else is getting all the benefits.
Yeah.
And I don't mind giving them the benefits, but I don't want to be without all the benefits myself.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So a record now you get 1% or 1 cent or something. Well, we used to get 95 cents to $1.
Oh. Because everybody else has to take their chunk, huh?
I don't know who's taking chunks now. All I know,
Somebody's taking
I'm
it.
about to say it's a little sketchy right now.
yeah, but I don't. Like I say, it's not about money with me, really. I'm gonna put the record out anyway at some point, but I don't appreciate somebody else taking all of mine.
Absolutely.
I can imagine.
Well, you just make sure that when your book comes out and your new single comes out, you come back here on Mud Talk so we can promote it and
Yep.
talk more about it and let the people know that it's out there.
I'll
Absolutely.
be glad to do that.
I would love that. And
Yes,
by then, I'll have already read your first book and listened to all these songs and Bill Cosby rapping and everything that I'm going to do tonight.
And then you'll be ready to be in the next video, right?
Yeah, would just let me know.
do your homework.
I will, for sure.
We are definitely doing our homework.
Yes.
All right, and I appreciate you guys. You guys are charming.
Thank you.
Well,
thank you.
so
We
much.
appreciate you so much.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Charles Wright. Give it on up for Mr. Charles Wright, y'all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. This has been an amazing Mud Talk exclusive
Absolutely.
interview. And man, so many gems and so much knowledge that I just learned here tonight.
Yes.
Yes.
I agree. I mean, I'm just like taking it all in. There's just
I know.
so much.
I'm like decompressing.
I am. There's just a lot, and I love it.
God bless you and your audience.
Thank you.
Thank you so
You
much.
as well.
You as well.
All right.
Have a wonderful night.
I'll try my best.
All right. I love that.
All right.
Wow. That was so cool.
It was.
That was truly just so much knowledge, and just to hear him overcome adversity and
Yes.
having people tell him, that his music wasn't going to be good, and he put it out there anyway.
You know, when he was telling his story about how he decided he was going to be a musician,
Mhm.
who did it remind you of? Reminding you of CNN Mikey.
Yes.
And he
it
just
does.
walked up there and said, it's almost
did
making
it.
me feel like if you want to get signed, you just got to go.
You just got to do
You
it.
just got to do it and just find the right people and just never stop.
Yes.
Because that's what he did. You know what? Fast forward 50, 60 years later, and that's kind of the way it's going to roll now.
And not only that, but his music is being sampled and put in commercials, and still to this day in
Yes.
2024,
Yeah.
all because he took a chance on himself.
I can't wait to read his new book because I guarantee you there are some stories.
I'm sure.
I think if we could have let him go for a while. If he would have had story after
He would have.
I didn't want it to end. I was like, just tell me more.
Just keep going.
Yep, just tell me all about it. And not just that, but like I'm excited honestly to read his first book.
Yes.
Because I think that is a part of our history and he lived it that a lot of
Absolutely.
people don't know.
Yeah. I mean, because he started off as a sharecropper,
Yeah.
which is a step down from being a slave. Or step up. Step up.
It's a
Yes.
step up.
Step up. Yes. Step up.
Yes.
I was like, wait a minute.
But it's
lower
one of
than
those
slave?
things where I think people just said, okay, slavery's done, and then that's it. And that's not how that works.
That's not how that worked at all.
And so, that was part of his life, and I'm definitely excited to hear about that. And I want to, I'm excited to learn a little bit more about once he got there, and going from like only hearing the gospel and sometimes a little bit of what was it, the country western that he was allowed to listen to just going to LA and deciding that he was going to do R&B.
Yeah, and I love the fact that when I asked him the question of, if he can give any advice to the younger artists, he basically told him, go back to the basics.
Yes.
Go back to music theory, take some classes so you can learn how to gel as one band, one sound.
Yes.
And
be a band. You don't
be
have
a
to
band.
just be you and a soundboard. Like
yes.
find a band, find, the drummers and the guitar players. I didn't get a chance to ask him this. I just thought about this. Like he said, he sat down and he played the piano, he played the guitar. Like those are all things that he didn't probably grow up knowing. So he got to LA and said, I'm going to learn it. I'm going to learn every part of the industry.
Yeah.
And I think that's really impressive.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
One of my favorite interviews we've done here on Mud Talk. And that's why it's called a Mud Talk exclusive. That's why we call it a Mud Talk exclusive. I love it. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Yeah. I got real excited.
You got the spirit.
I know that. He told me to have spirit, right?
Get that spirit out there. Yeah.
That spirit.
And I just need to talk about like Bill Cosby's rapping career. Like
I did not know that Bill Cosby used to be a rapper.
No, but I'm about to try to find that video.
Right on YouTube.
I'm sure.
I'm sure it's out there.
But yeah, that was interesting. So yeah, I guarantee there's stories and things that we don't want to miss. So if you want to catch up, so his new single is Your Hands, and then we have Doing It on the Flow. He's going to be releasing. Wait, I typed it out so we can.
Well, I love the way when I asked him, I said, "What is the meaning behind Your Hands?" He's like, "You listen to it, right? Self-explanatory." I'm like, well, that's true.
It is. Maybe you should have said inspiration. Yeah, it was good. Actually, I really liked it. I listened to both of them. Like I said, the one he was just he was having a blast in the
Yeah.
music video. But the other one, I really enjoyed it. It's you can feel the connection.
Yes.
And I think I said that before we went on. I was like, I like that your hands one is like you can feel the connection to the music.
Yes.
And it makes sense now.
It does. Yeah.
That's why. And I just the story about Express Yourself, like what? He was at a
Yeah.
concert and it just like came out of his mouth
And it worked.
And it's still working.
And it's just crazy that people told him that his music, well, in his words, quote unquote, that it was shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
That song specifically.
That song specifically is crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure all of you, even when he said it, like in this, you can hear it. I was like, I just have this song in my mind now, to Express Yourself.
Yeah.
He like said it in the way that he sings it.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah. I was like picturing it in my head. Like
it's still in my head.
Yeah. It's gonna be in my head for a while. Wow.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, that is our Mud Talk exclusive. We appreciate you guys for tuning in and tapping in with Mr. Charles Wright, the legendary Mr. Charles Wright,
R&B
Hall of Famer,
yes.
Mr. Charles Wright. We got to put some respect on his name. Yes. Wow.
I was laughing too. I just caught it. He was just like, somebody just told me like last week I won that.
He was like, yeah.
So casual, like, yeah, last week someone told me.
He was like, yeah, 2 weeks ago. Like somebody told me I was inducted to the R&B Hall of Fame. And I was like, oh.
And I think when we were reading, I mean, he was in the same class as like, what did I say? Was it Jay-Z, Beyonce?
Yeah.
I mean, there were some big names in there. And he's just like, yeah, 2 weeks ago I was.
No, just whatever.
Just another day in the life of Mr. Charles Wright.
As his house phone and other phone is ringing.
Whoever was on the house phone was like, listen, we're going to call the cell phone. Is he good? Like, what's going on?
Because I've been calling for quite some time and he's not answering.
Right.
So, wow. All right, y'all. Well, that's our show. Thank y'all for tuning into this Mud Talk exclusive. I'm Big T.
I'm Miss Amy.
And remember, Mud Talk is the only show that brings you the latest in music, news, and fashion and keeps your ears to the streets.
Well, you grind and shine.
All right, y'all. We'll see y'all next time.